In the last episode of DBZ, a rage-boosted Gohan laid a quick smackdown on the universe's greatest terror after believing his bald uncle to be deceased after a penetration going wrong. Despite the intensity of the attack, Frieza emerges from the smoke with little more than a few scratches and an attitude that a lowly Saiyan monkey's offspring would dare to give him an early dirt nap. As Frieza sets his sights on the young son Gohan, the prince takes his time to deploy a sneak attack on Frieza, shooting a ki wave at him that lands directly on his back. One thing that got me so mad about this moment was Vegeta acting like that weak-ass movie just did was really gonna kill this dude. Like, be for real, sir. Look at everything y'all have already tried to throw at this man that did absolutely zero work. But for some reason, this ki blast you shot that doesn't even look like you put max power behind it was really gonna be the thing that wraps up this arc? Alright, buddy, whatever you say. As y'all likely guessed, that blast did zero work, like anyone with common sense would have suspected. But Vegeta has the nerve to be absolutely dejected that this attack didn't work, taking a black pill and watching Frieza from the sidelines with the rest of the rejects like, "It's over, bros." Frieza just looks over his shoulder and blows a kiss at Vegeta like, "No need to rush, boo, your turn's coming up soon." Then he returns his attention to Gohan, who's about to have the worst day since he met Raccoon. Gohan tries his best to defend himself, but even with his recent Zenkais and battle experience, he stands no chance. Frieza smirks and dodges all of his attacks with ease, and when he gets bored of dodging, he begins playing with his food, grabbing Gohan by the hair, kneeing him in the side, then kicking him all over the Namekian landscape. Gohan shoots a ki wave and tries to get some distance from this demon, but he's just too fast and meets Gohan in the air with a tail whip before coming down to the ground and crushing his skull with his nasty ass Komodo dragon feet.
Is this a Komodo dragon?
Yes.
What? What kind?
Komodo dragon.
Do you think it is, mate?
I don't know, I'm not familiar with all the
Lizards.
What is it?
Komodo dragon.
Bloody thumbs.
The whole time Vegeta's watching this small child get his ass whooped like, "That's all you, young blood, go ahead and handle business." Bro was looking extra weak here. It was so bad, even the narrator had to comment on it and was like, "Is Vegeta really going to stay on the sidelines as poor son Gohan gets the worst beating of his life? Tune in next episode of Dragon Ball Z to find out." When you have fourth wall breaks happening to acknowledge how soft you're acting in universe, you know you reached a whole new level of sorry. Bruh, even Frieza looks over at him like, "You really ain't gonna do nothing, bruh? Don't you see how I'm dog walking this child? I thought y'all was basically family." The whole time Gohan sitting under his gross reptilian feet in tears, thinking to himself how if he ever gets off this planet, they will never catch him in another fight again. Right as Frieza's about to curb stomp this 5-year-old, Frieza's caught off guard and his tail is chopped off by a familiar looking ki attack. And who else should come to the rescue but Uncle Krillin, who is then shooting off a barrage of Kienzan at Frieza. Frieza's absolutely perplexed at seeing this bald menace alive and well, thinking back on how moments before this, little buddy was experiencing the worst ride of his life and shouldn't even be breathing, let alone able to actually mount an attack on him. The anime treats us with this wild ass game of cat and mouse between Frieza and Krillin that plays out high key like a Tom and Jerry sequence, with Krillin trying to run away before he gets slaughtered by Frieza, and Frieza jump scaring him before eventually the anime catches up with the manga after Frieza destroys the area where Krillin's hiding, and a terrified Krillin fires off a solar flare in hopes of gaining some distance. While Krillin is out doing his best to avoid getting shish kebabbed again, Dende made his way over to the severely wounded Gohan in an effort to heal him before his life force completely fades. I never realized as a kid how bad Gohan was getting trashed, but Frieza was literally crushing this little boy's skull under his feet and was about to crack it like an egg before Unk showed up. Krillin makes his way back over to Gohan, Dende, and Vegeta's location. Vegeta peeped the whole thing and asked Krillin why the hell they didn't mention that little green kid had healing powers. Krillin looks at Vegeta directly in his eyes and asks him if he's dumb or if he's stupid. He points out that they weren't aware little homie had those powers either, and if they were, they would have just asked him to heal Goku rather than putting him in that sorry ass swimming pool for an hour while they get washed by this lunatic. As Gohan powers up, fresh off his Zenkai boost and getting ready for round 2 with Frieza, who else should arrive at the scene but Lord Piccolo, or rather the nameless Namekian himself. It's no secret how weak Vegeta's been looking since Frieza's arrival, but I'd be lying if I didn't say his next interaction with Piccolo didn't have me super weak. A few moments after his arrival, Vegeta registers who it is and is like, "Hold up, ain't this sorry ass green bum that me and that loser Nappa watched on y'all's planet not too long ago?" So what y'all telling me is that y'all had the Dragon Balls, a near incomprehensible source of power that can grant damn near any wish a living creature can desire, and y'all used it to bring this green, low power level having ass Namekian over here to get his cheeks busted in front of us live in 4K? I should honestly get rid of y'all right now for being so stupid. And while Vegeta definitely has no room to talk when it comes to power levels and getting melted by Frieza, and even though I mess with Piccolo heavily and he's one of my favorite characters in the series, I can't help help but low-key agree with what he's been saying. Y'all have seen firsthand what type of time Frieza's on, and y'all saw Goku's power level after he came back from training with King Kai. Best case scenario, Piccolo ends up as strong as Goku when he fought the Saiyans back on Earth, or if you want to be charitable, just a bit stronger. But Goku at his peak got ran through by a solo Vegeta even back then. Now here we are on Namek with a Vegeta who was 100 times more powerful than he ever was when you saw him on Earth, who is now literally even afraid to touch this man Frieza, and y'all thought to yourselves, yeah, you know who could really turn the tide and fold this dude Frieza? My homie Piccolo. As much as I hate to admit it, I would be looking at them the exact same way Vegeta is right now. What's even funnier is in the anime version, we're treated to an increasingly agitated Yamcha, who ever since Piccolo left the planet has been talking real spicy about the Green Man, talking about how he knew it was a mistake to send Piccolo and that they should have just wished him back and he would have taken care of this Frieza guy ASAP. I really wish y'all could have seen my face when this dude Yamcha let that out his mouth. Could y'all imagine how clown shoes it would have been if they would have wished Yamcha back to Namek first and this man got a front row seat to meet Frieza? Dude could literally sneeze in Yamcha's general direction and have him hitting the Family Guy death animation faster than you could say waste of a wish. But back to the matter at hand, Piccolo waves off Vegeta's roast session, telling him that after he puts his Namekian 13s up Frieza's urethra, it's going to be his turn next. Piccolo tells Vegeta, Krillin, and Gohan that he's going to take this man on by himself and that the rest of them should just get out the way and let him cook. Gohan and Krillin look at this man like he's insane, but Vegeta just starts busting out laughing like, all right, buddy, the floor is yours. Vegeta's so petty in this arc, man. Dude had me dying just by existence sometimes. Piccolo floats down to the earth and calls Dende out by name, telling him to take cover because stuff is about to start getting real crucial. Dende looks at him like, how does this dude know my name, before chalking it up to the game and get behind a nearby rock. Piccolo wastes no time and starts in for a headlong charge at Frieza. Piccolo's speed catches Frieza by surprise, and before he can put his guard up, he's met with a nasty hook to the face before dodging Piccolo's next attack. Then the two start wailing on each other in a back and forth that looks weirdly even for a fight that was supposed to be a complete washing. Frieza decides to get serious for a brief moment and shoots a ki blast directly at Piccolo. Everyone watching the blast is yelling at Piccolo to start moving his Namekian hey dudes across the soil and get the hell out the blast radius, but instead, this man looks at the blast completely unamused, parks it where he's at before knocking that junk back at Frieza like it's a game of Lethal League. Then for the cherry on top, he fires off a ki wave of his own at Frieza, who looks at the attack in shock and is forced to put his guard up, which he is visibly none too happy about. On the sidelines, Krillin is meat riding like crazy. Little buddy is already booking vacation plans with Marin, talking about how Piccolo's the GOAT, he knew he was gonna cook Frieza, all manner of cap. And the Prince of Salt can't do anything but look at Piccolo with envy and confusion, hitting the same monologue he did with Goku when he came back from training with King Kai, talking about how he just smoked this man a few months ago and now he's sitting here making him look soft as hell and nothing in the world makes sense. Had Buddy starting to wonder if Piccolo might be the Super Saiyan. While Vegeta was in the middle of his existential crisis though, Frieza decides that it might be time to show Piccolo exactly what kind of problem he's dealing with. In a flash, Buddy appears in Piccolo's face and returns that hook he got earlier. He then follows Piccolo into the air as he tries to get some distance and sends him right back down to the dirt, leaving a crater not only in the Namekian landscape, but in Piccolo's ego as well. Piccolo emerges from his dirt nap, spits out the few remaining teeth he has left in his mouth after taking that headshot, and decides that it's time to stop warming up as well. Piccolo pulls another Dragon Ball classic, throwing off his weighted training gear and cracking his knuckles for the upcoming business at hand. And as much as we all know how this next section is about to go for little buddy, a part of me can't help but smile and get hype every time I see him throw off that cape and turban combo and hit that neck tilt for the one time. Frieza watches this, one part impressed that someone had the stones to actually not use their full power against him immediately, and another part amused that these jerks really think that this form he's using right now is all he has left in the tank. Frieza lets Piccolo know that he hopes his homie Vegeta let him know about his transformations, and that he's still got 2 more in him before these losers even somewhat have a concept of what he's actually capable of doing. Piccolo calls Cap, telling dude that there's no way his transformations can make much more of a difference on his current power level. Vegeta can't do anything but sit there in shock and with tears in his eyes because he's already seen this movie before, and the fact that Frieza has 2 more of those to go makes his tummy hurt. In moments, Frieza begins transforming, and to this day I do not understand why these fellas didn't just try to throw everything they could at this man before allowing that nonsense to happen. At this point in time, Vegeta's confidence is so shattered that he wasn't even on that type of Saiyan timing where they go, I want to see my opponent at their best so I can test my limits. Dude knew full well that Frieza's a demon. If he was allowed to go all out, their chances of winning are lower than his barber being being able to salvage his hairline.
I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do.
What I needed to see was about 16 Destructo Discs, a Masenko, a Gallic Hoe, and a special beam cannon, all aimed at Frieza's ever-expanding cranium, but these fellows would not give me that. Instead, all they did was watch this man completely slack-jawed as he turns into the literal alien from the Ridley Scott films. Piccolo assumes that since he took off his weighted training gear, while his strength may not be able to match up to Frieza in his new form, at the very least he can run from him and gain some distance while he figures out a plan. But just like the horror movie from whence Frieza came, he jump scares Piccolo, seemingly teleporting directly in front of him just as he thought he got away. Then Frieza begins hitting Piccolo with the finger bang of the century, firing off shots at Piccolo literally with his fingertips and filling him up with more holes than Buddy who got turned into Swiss cheese at the beginning of RoboCop. Frieza must have thought he was in Bikini Bottom with all the holes he was trying to put in Piccolo. Next time poor dude regains consciousness, he's gonna be a fry cook living in a pineapple. Gohan is across the field devastated watching his mentor get that red dot special, and without thinking, begins to rush to his side. Krillin, now wanting to see something wild happen to Gohan, attempts to chase after him, but is stopped by Vegeta, who tells him there's no point, and their only hope now is for Krillin to put a hot one in him so he can artificially Zenkai boost and, yup, y'all guessed it, become the legendary Super Saiyan. Mom putting another one up on the cap counter, Seth. While Vegeta is contemplating how to cheat the system, Gohan is doing his best to save his surrogate pops, kicking Frieza in the head to get him off Piccolo's back, and following this up with a key wave at full power. Gohan puts every little bit of sauce he has into this blast, and low-key it looks like Frieza's days might be numbered as he gets forced further and further back by the attack. But after a short struggle, Frieza regains his composure, forcing the blast back up in the air, causing Piccolo to knock the attack away as they watch it explode in the distance. A badly beaten Piccolo can't help but gas Gohan up, commenting on his vast strength increase since their last meeting and expressing pride in the warrior Gohan has become. Frieza begins thinking to himself how the hell this kid seems to be getting more and more powerful. Then he makes a realization that Gohan must be a Saiyan as well. But for Frieza, the math ain't mathin', because outside of Vegeta and Nappa, there should have been no Saiyans left to father any more offspring, and there ain't no way on Kami's green earth that Nappa or Vegeta managed to get cheeks, no matter what planet they might have visited. He then remarks that the boy bears a slight resemblance to Raditz before ending the thought and deciding that his new mission is to thoroughly eradicate all Saiyan life before they manage to become any more of a nuisance. As Frieza establishes his new mission, we go back to Krillin and Vegeta, where the latter is asking the former to smash his teeth in to gain the Saiyan cheat codes and a fresh power boost. Frieza then announces to the few remaining pieces of life left on Namek that he will give them the pleasure out of the kindness of his heart of seeing his true power and begins his final transformation. Vegeta nearly throws up in his mouth after hearing this and damn near begs Krillin to take him out. Krillin says as much as he hates dude, he can't and they should just wait for Goku. Vegeta doesn't even let him finish the thought, roasting Goku's sorry ass for damn near getting his ashes poured out for Ginyu and reminding them that their ass kicking is about to happen right now. They have no time to wait for a savior. Krillin begins sensing Frieza's immense power and out of fear and desperation fires off a ki blast directly into Vegeta's chest, deciding to give his insane plan a shot. Vegeta smiles as he floats heavily to the ground, waiting to be saved by the little green boy who works miracles. Slowly beginning to realize that the little green boy is in no hurry to get to his position, Vegeta gets up and does his best to hold his internal organs in as he rudely demands for Dende to heal him so he can put a stop to Frieza. Dende looks at Vegeta's forehead, then in his eyes, and exclaims that it would be a cold day in Namek before he tends to his wounds after all the people that he killed. Dende then wishes Vegeta luck with his dirt nap as he flies off to find Piccolo to help him instead. Vegeta looks up in the air in complete disbelief, realizing that he may not even get the chance to get wasted by Frieza, and that his end may just come at the hands of the weaker ball companion he just allowed to inflict that wound on him. If you listen close, they say you can hear the spirit of Nappa giving a light chuckle in the wind as Vegeta prepares to enter King Yemma's lobby in his final moments. Dende arrives to Piccolo's side as Krillin is explaining to him Vegeta's nutty ass plan. Dende then begins working on nursing Piccolo's wounds and in moments has him back to full health. Unfortunately though, a certain evil galactic emperor also happened to be watching the whole affair in 4K, and him peeping this will have severe consequences in the very near future. Being nursed to health, Piccolo thanks Dende, but expresses to him that as much as he hates that 4-foot-tall lunatic's guts too, he will be needed in the fight against a true threat and asks Dende to tend to his wounds. Right before Vegeta can drift off the HFIL, Dende arrives and begrudgingly heals his wounds. Vegeta takes to his feet, stretches for a moment, and then proceeds to kick the ever-loving taste out of Dende's mouth before telling him that he's lucky that's all he did, and flies off to face Frieza with his newfound Zenkai. I used to feel sad watching Vegeta take those Frieza back shots, but now I'm starting to think Buddy should have gone in harder. Shortly after Vegeta once again makes yet another premature Super Saiyan call out, an amazing flash of light occurs, and as the dust settles, we're given a clear look at Frieza in his final and most terrible form. Krillin remarks on how Frieza looks a lot less scary the way he is now, at least. Piccolo almost chokes Krillin on the spot, asking him if he doesn't feel the power coming off this menace, and damn near apologizing to them for having them waste a wish on the Dragon Balls for bringing him back, because now he understands just how outclassed he is after seeing Frieza at his supposed best. Before the Z homies can even process and fully fear what they're facing, an explosion occurs behind them. It takes them a second to register, but the blast came from Frieza's fingers, and the victim of the attack was none other than the little goat himself, Dende, who is now yet another Namekian notch on Frieza's belt. Frieza smugly comments that now they can no longer heal, with Piccolo frustratedly realizing that Frieza must have seen Dende heal his wounds earlier. Rage-boosted Gohan is the first to attack, then Krillin and Piccolo follow behind him. But unfortunately, not even plot armor Gohan can save them this time, as Frieza playfully dodges each blow they send his way, even as they all attack at once. After dodging the key waves the three send at him, Frieza vanishes behind them and shoots another beam, this time prepared to put young Gohan on a t-shirt. To everyone's surprise though, Vegeta emerges as a savior and knocks Gohan out of the way before he gets blown into the next dimension. Gohan thanks Vegeta for the help, but Vegeta remarks that it wasn't for Gohan's sake, but rather he wanted to showcase his newfound power, exhibiting his belief that his Zenkai now puts him on the same level as Frieza, and he's finally transformed into what the evil warrior's greatest fear is, a Super Saiyan. Frieza looks on in shock, but this emotion quickly fades and is replaced with a smug sense of amusement as he mocks Vegeta's words and requests that he come test that theory. Vegeta's happy to oblige and charges full speed to bob Frieza a good one, but to his shock and horror, by the time he made it to his position, Frieza was already 3 steps ahead in another location. Frieza comments that this Super Saiyan legend isn't all it's cracked up to be, as we see the color in Vegeta's face change and doubt start to enter his heart at his ability to overcome the obstacle in front of him. And here, my friends, is where we'll call it. I cannot tell y'all how excited I am that we entered the fight with Frieza. For my mileage, this is absolutely an arc that is an anime and manga hall of fame, and there are so many moments that come that I want to discuss with everyone and hear your thoughts about. Tune in next time as we see a side of Vegeta that we've never seen before, and a new face enters the battlefield that seeks to turn the tide. But as powerful as they are, is there really anything they can do against the force of nature that's called Frieza? Be easy, y'all, and we'll find out in the next video.